Okay guys, today we're going to look at how to multiply whole numbers, whole number right here, by fractions. So, this is going to be the sample problem that I'll use the entire time. Okay, the first thing we've got to be able to do is look at any representation of 4 times 3/4 and recognize it as being 4 times 3/4. So one way that we'll see that is with pictures. Now, one thing about pictures is they aren't necessarily all going to be filled in the same way. They can be filled in a variety of ways. So the strategy that I want you to use every time you see a picture is this. Label each picture. And then you simply count the number of groups. Each picture is 3/4, and we have 4 groups of them. Now, for those of you that are my English language kind of people that don't prefer math but like language arts, a good strategy for you is to change this to the words that it means. Groups of. Rather than saying 4 times 3/4, say 4 groups of 3/4. Now, another way is repeated addition. If you look at this, we sort of set ourselves up to do that. However, I will rewrite it so that you can see it. And you know what? This marker is not a very good marker. So, let me try a different marker. 3/4 4 times. Now, because we have moved through so much of our fraction curriculum at this point, I know that you all know we don't add the denominator. We simply move it over. And we do add the numerator, 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay, so it would be 12/4 either way. Another way that you'll see this is on a number line. This is the one I've seen the most as far as testing goes. Sometimes it's pretty straightforward. You're going to start at a 0 and go to 3/4. So you can see that every one of these is 3/4 by simply looking at where the first interval ends. And that only works when you start at 0. Now, in this case, we would look at it like this, and I encourage you to number 1, 2, 3, 4, and I know you can sit there and count it. However, it's always best to do everything. It avoids careless mistakes. And then you look at your last leap, and you can write the equation 4 times 3/4. However, let me caution you, because it doesn't always start at 0. Sometimes you'll start somewhere in the middle of a number line. So in this case, you have to be able to read the number line. Now, the common mistake I've seen people make on this is to count the lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, and call that 4/4. We don't do that. We count the interval, the space in between each point. And we have 1, 2, 3, so that would be 3/4. And then again, we are leaping in leaps of 3/4. So 1, 2, 3 more fourths, 1, 2, 3 more fourths. And then you would take the same strategy, numbering each of these, and I'll remove this. Numbering each of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then determining that interval in between. Now, there are 3 ways that you can multiply this problem. This is how you'll see it, or you may see it written as 3/4 times 4. However, if you don't like how that looks, remember the commutative property of multiplication, order doesn't matter. So I would say that if you don't like how that looks, it bothers you, switch it. You can multiply the whole number times your numerator. The product is your new numerator. The denominator simply moves over. However, what I would suggest you get comfortable with is one of these two, because the mistake people make is to see a big number here and think you multiply it times the numerator and the denominator. Now this prepares you a little more for 5th grade curriculum. If you simply put your 4 over a 1, now when we convert that, that's an improper fraction. 4 over 1 is equivalent to 4. So we can write it either way, it's still 4. And this sets you up because then you start to learn that you simply multiply straight across, and you have 12, and then 1 times 4 is 4. Now if that's too much for you, another way is to say that you rewrite the problem above and below exactly like you're doing it here. So my numerator becomes that 4 times 3 on a line above. My denominator is below, and then I solve it. As I've talked to you guys about, you will always have the possibility of seeing your answer either as an improper fraction, or if sometimes these turn out to be fractions, that's fine, but you could also see it as a mixed number. So we did the box and the bar, denominator shuffle, 4 goes into 12 3 whole times, and we have nothing remaining. So you could see this answer as a mixed number. Now in this case we have nothing in the numerator, so it would probably just be 3. Okay. Practice time. These 3 problems are good examples that you can practice everything I just talked about. Remember, we multiply, we want to do it every way. So the multiplying is simply your whole number times your numerator. Pick the strategy that works best for you and use that one all the time. Draw a picture of each, use repeated addition, create a number line, and convert your answer into a mixed number when possible. Sometimes your answer will simply be a fraction, so be careful to look at it correctly.